Me before you. Have you ever met someone who changed your life in just a few months? In a quiet town in England, there lived a cheerful young woman named Louisa Clark. Most people simply called her Lou. She was 26 years old and still lived with her parents, her grandfather, her sister Katrina, and Katrina's little son. Her family did not have much money, so everyone worked hard to support each other. Lou was kind, funny, and full of energy. She loved wearing colorful clothes with bright stripes, flowers, and unusual patterns. Her clothes often made people smile. Although she looked confident, Lou had never traveled far from home. She liked her simple life and was afraid of change. She had worked for many years at a small cafe in town, where she knew almost every customer by name. One ordinary morning, everything changed. The cafe suddenly closed because the owner could no longer keep the business open. Lou lost her job without warning. Since her salary was important to the family, everyone became worried. She tried to find another job, but she had no special skills or college degree. She visited the local job center again and again, accepting interviews that never seemed to lead anywhere. After several unsuccessful attempts, the job center offered her something very different. A wealthy family was looking for someone to provide companionship for their son. The job was only for 6 months, but the pay was much higher than anything Lou had earned before. At first, Lou was uncertain. She had no experience taking care of disabled people. Still, she needed the money, so she decided to try. The next day, she arrived at Granta House, a large and beautiful country home owned by the Traynor family. Everything there looked elegant and expensive. Lou immediately felt out of place in her colorful dress and nervous smile. She soon met Camilla Traynor, the lady of the house. Camilla explained that Lou would not be responsible for medical care. Professional nurses already handled that. Her only job was to spend time with her son, keep him company, and help him enjoy life again. Then Lou finally met Will Traynor. Will was only in his 30s, but he sat silently in a wheelchair. He had once been a successful businessman who loved adventure. He had climbed mountains, traveled around the world, played sports, and lived every day with confidence. He had believed that nothing was impossible. Everything had changed 2 years earlier. On a rainy morning, Will was crossing a street when a speeding motorcycle crashed into him. The accident damaged his spinal cord. He became a quadriplegic, unable to move his arms and legs normally. He depended on others for almost everything in daily life. The active man who had once loved freedom now spent most of his days inside the house. The accident had not only changed his body, it had changed his personality as well. Will became cold, impatient, and distant. He rarely smiled. He disliked meeting new people because he hated their pity. Whenever someone tried to cheer him up, he pushed them away with sarcastic jokes or sharp words. Lou quickly discovered that working for him would not be easy. During her first few days, every conversation ended awkwardly. Will answered with only a few words or simply ignored her. Sometimes he stared out of the window for hours without saying anything. Many people would have given up. But Lou was different. Instead of becoming angry, she continued talking about ordinary things. She told funny stories about her family, described strange customers she had met at the cafe, and laughed at herself whenever she made mistakes. Her bright personality slowly filled the quiet house with warmth. Little by little, Will began to respond. One afternoon, Lou noticed that he smiled slightly after one of her silly jokes. It was only a small smile, but it felt like an important victory. As the weeks passed, they spent more time together. They watched old movies, listened to music, and discussed books. Lou learned that before the accident, Will had visited many countries, loved classical concerts, and enjoyed trying new experiences. She also realized how much he had lost. Simple activities that most people never noticed had become impossible for him. He could not walk through a park alone, hug someone freely, or decide where to go without assistance. Even getting out of bed required help. Although Lou tried to stay positive, she began to understand the loneliness behind Will's sarcastic words. One day, while accidentally overhearing a conversation between Will's parents, Lou learned a shocking secret. Before hiring her, Will had made a difficult decision. He had told his parents that he wanted to end his own life through assisted dying at a clinic in Switzerland. His parents could not accept losing their son. So they begged him to wait 6 months before making his final decision. Those 6 months were almost over. The reason Lou had been hired was not only to keep him company. His mother secretly hoped that Lou could remind Will that life was still worth living. When Lou heard this, she was deeply shocked. She had slowly become Will's friend, and now she realized she might soon lose him forever. Instead of giving up, Lou decided to do everything she could. She created a long list of exciting activities that Will might still enjoy despite his disability. She believed that if he experienced happiness again, he might change his mind. Her first plans were simple. She took him to horse racing events, invited him to concerts, and brought him to beautiful gardens. Some trips went well, while others ended badly because Will's health problems made traveling difficult. Still, Lou refused to stop trying. Will gradually became happier in her company. He laughed more often and even teased her gently about her unusual fashion choices. One evening, Will encouraged Lou to think about her own future. He realized that Lou had spent her entire life staying inside the same small town because she lacked confidence. "You are capable of much more than you believe," he often reminded her. Those words stayed in Lou's heart. She began reading books that Will recommended. She listened to music she had never heard before. She became curious about places outside her hometown. Without realizing it, both of them were changing each other. Will learned to smile again. Lou learned to dream. As their friendship deepened, Lou's boyfriend Patrick became increasingly uncomfortable. Patrick was a fitness trainer who loved running, cycling, and competing in sports events. His life became busier and busier, while Lou spent nearly all her free time with Will. The distance between Lou and Patrick slowly grew larger. Eventually, they realized they wanted different futures. Their relationship quietly came to an end. Meanwhile, Will's health remained fragile. Because of his injury, Even a small illness could become dangerous. He often suffered from infections and severe pain. There were days when he looked exhausted, no matter how hard he tried to hide it. Lou finally understood that Will's suffering was much greater than anyone could see. As Christmas approached, Will gave Lou an unexpected gift. As Christmas approached, Will gave Lou an unexpected gift. It was a pair of black and yellow striped tights, similar to the colorful clothes she loved wearing. Lou laughed happily. The gift showed that Will had begun paying attention to the little things that made her unique. For the first time in years, Will genuinely enjoyed making someone else happy. Later, Will's parents arranged a holiday on a beautiful tropical island. They hoped sunshine and fresh air would improve his mood. Lou joined the trip. The island was warm, peaceful, and filled with blue skies and clear water. They spent quiet days near the beach, enjoying the beautiful scenery. During those peaceful moments, Lou finally admitted something she had been hiding from herself. She had fallen in love with Will. Gathering all her courage, she confessed her feelings. Will listened carefully. He admitted that he loved her too. For a brief moment, it seemed as if everything might finally become perfect. But then, Will quietly explained that his decision had never changed. He loved Lou deeply, yet he still planned to go to Switzerland. He believed that his life would never be the life he truly wanted. He did not want Lou to spend her future taking care of him or giving up her own dreams. He wanted her to experience the world, travel, study, fall in love again if she wished, and live a life much bigger than the small town she had always known. Lou was heartbroken. She begged him to reconsider. She reminded him of everything they had shared together. She told him that his life still mattered. But Will gently explained that loving someone did not always mean changing their deepest decision. Sometimes love also meant respecting their choice, even when it caused unbearable pain. After returning to England, Lou struggled to accept reality. Finally, when Will traveled to Switzerland, she decided to go after him. She wanted to spend his final days beside him instead of leaving with regret. When Lou arrived, the atmosphere was peaceful and quiet. Will looked calm. They spent precious time together, talking about their memories and everything they had learned from each other. There were tears, but there was also gratitude. Will thanked Lou for giving him the happiest 6 months he had experienced since the accident. Lou thanked Will for showing her that life could be bigger than fear. Not long afterward, Will passed away. Lou was overwhelmed with sadness. For a long time, she could hardly imagine life without him. Some weeks later, she received a letter from Will. In the letter, he encouraged her one final time. He asked her not to hide from the world anymore. He wanted her to travel, discover new places, meet new people, and become the brave woman he had always believed she could be. Will had also left her enough money to help her begin a new life. Following his wishes, Lou finally left her hometown. She traveled to Paris, one of the cities Will had always loved. Sitting alone at a small outdoor cafe, she opened his letter once again. She smiled through her tears. The shy young woman who had once been afraid to leave home was now beginning a brand new journey. Although Will was gone, the courage he had given her remained. His love did not keep her in the past. Instead, it gave her the strength to move forward. And as Lou looked at the busy streets of a new city, she finally understood the greatest gift Will had ever given her. It was not money. It was not romance. It was the belief that life should be lived as fully as possible, even when the future is uncertain. Sometimes the people who enter our lives for only a short time can change the rest of our lives forever. Me Before You reminds us that love is not always about staying together. Sometimes love is about helping another person become stronger, braver, and ready to live a life they never thought was possible. Thank you for watching.